What are your top priorities as a candidate for the Select Board?
Our school committee has quite a few things moving forward into the next year that we must make priorities. The first, though, is vocational education for our students. Since approximately 2022, 2021, we have not been able to have our students participate in vocational education because of changes made at the state level to the way students are accepted into vocational programs. Our situation right now is that students have no access. They can apply, but there are no open seats for them. So priority number one is continuing to work with Mr. Tom Hickey, who is the superintendent at the South Shore Vocational Technical High School in Hanover, to develop a plan to get our students access. I have been attending meetings for quite a while now, and one of the things that I've really found important is that the school committee member must be able to explain to the citizen what the benefits as well as the costs will be of this type of program. When I'm talking to citizens, they're concerned about cost, but they also really want their students to have the opportunity. I've reviewed the contract that was agreed to, or I should say the agreement made with Marshfield High School to accept their students into the VocTech at South Shore, and it's a great program. It's got some great opportunities for us, and the financial outlay is very reasonable. It's very important that our school committee not only move this forward to the town warrant so that our citizens can vote on it, but also that they are capable of educating our citizens so that the citizens can then make a wise decision about their funding. We're going to need to have a debt exclusion to cover the building costs for the new building that they're planning at South Shore VocTech. We're also going to have a Proposition 2.5 override to cover the costs of sending our students there. Fortunately, the agreement as it was written with Marshfield is it's great in that it's flexible, meaning if we have a year that we don't use all of our seats, those seats can be turned back to the other member towns and used for their overflow. And the opposite is also true. If there's a town that's not using their seats, they can be pushed forward and a proportion of those will be given so that we can have additional students have access. The other nice thing is that they've made the agreement based on a 3-year rolling average attendance so that our price will fluctuate based on the percentage of students that we have attending the school at that time. So priority number one is getting out there and educating our citizens so that they can make a wise decision about whether we want to join the vocational school in Hanover, and also approving the funding to go ahead and do that so that people know how that's going to affect the bottom line of their taxes. Beyond that, I think it's also really important that we maintain our budget. And there have been a lot of talks about other towns needing 2.5 overrides in years recent past. Fortunately, our school committee has been able to avoid that situation. They have been very wise, I think, in their use of reductions in staffing based on reductions in student attendance. And they've used more of an excisional approach, taking out just the thing that we don't need and being careful about not taking out things too willy-nilly. I like to think of it as excisional versus hatchet, but maybe that's the surgeon in me. We need targeted spending. One thing that's on the table right now is starting a substantially separate special education program that has the opportunity to bring in more income from student enrollment from other towns. And I think that may be a very wise way for our school to invest in a future that would also be financially beneficial, not only to our own students, but to students in the surrounding towns. And lastly, I think it's really important that we develop, and I should say continue to develop, a plan for appropriate maintenance of upkeep of the buildings that we have. Many people are aware that we've had mold issues throughout some of the buildings. And fortunately, our our superintendent, as well as the members of our school committee, have been able to do repairs and remediation to correct that. But the underlying problem has not been corrected. And that's because of a failure in years past to develop a real plan to make appropriate corrections as necessary and maintenance upgrades as necessary. So we've been working towards that. I've seen evidence over the past few years while I've been attending school committee meetings that they are building in each year additional plans to move forward with a maintenance plan, replacement of computers, etc. And I'd like to continue to work on that because we have to continue to keep our buildings up, to maintain that value for our citizens, and to have those buildings available for future use. I think finally, I'd like to conclude by saying that these priorities need to be addressed in a way that's fiscally responsible and understands the entirety of the school system. Having had 4 kids move throughout the schools from start to finish, participating in vocational education, as well as regular education and some special education needs, I feel that I'm very qualified to move forward to do that, and I hope to have the opportunity to.
What challenges do you see as a candidate for the school committee?
The school committee is in a unique position because members of the school committee are accountable to the citizens who vote them in, and as taxpayers, they're responsible to the students to provide a good education. They're responsible to the parents to build trust with those parents and to have parental input. And they're also responsible to the teachers and the employees of the school to provide them with a good working environment, as well as the tools they need to create a successful outcome for our students. I think our biggest challenge is in creating an atmosphere where conflict is minimized and discussion is opened. We need to be willing to hear opinions that differ from ours. We need to be willing to have a school committee where not everyone agrees. And the culture in the past, I think, has been to present a unified front. And although that's nice, it doesn't necessarily come up with good solutions. And it sometimes gives the citizens the opinion that there's maybe some backroom dealing or something going on. I like it when I see school committee members at the meetings have disagreements with one another and really struggle with the decisions they're making. The biggest challenge I think we have is finances and how we go about investing those finances while also meeting the needs of each one of those people that we are required to meet the needs of. It would be wonderful to spend a lot of money and get every student everything they needed. It would be wonderful for teachers to have all of the equipment that they need, all of the vacation time they need. I would love for that to happen. I would love to see that our citizens had no concerns about their taxes just going up and up, but that's just not the case. So I'd like to see the school committee change its perspective a little bit. The past few years, starting with COVID, became very contentious, and disagreement was oftentimes seen as something more than that. And I think ultimately the people that we have serving on the school committee have the same desire. And I hope that's same as my desire, which is to really provide a good education to our students. Each student should be able to come into school and feel that there is something there that is building a future for them, whether their interests are sports or business, science, foreign language, whether they want to open their own construction company or become a mom or a middle school teacher. Students should feel that the teachers in the school are rooting for them in that future and are encouraging them in that future and have the tools to do so. And teachers should feel that, and should know, that the members of the school committee we would love to give them the world, but the budget constrains that. I have great respect for our teachers. I have taught in many different forms over the course of my career, whether it's teaching at my children's homeschool co-op, where I had science classes of up to about 20 students of varying capabilities and varying ages, to teaching through 4-H, to missionary work in Africa, teaching people how to take care of their goats, for example. Teaching it's a vital, vital thing. And we need to start looking at each other on the school committee and within this team of the school as people who want the same outcome. We want our students to thrive, we want our children to thrive, we want our employees to do well. And we have to do that within a 2.5% budget percentage versus inflation, which is oftentimes more than that. So I would like to just thank our school committee. The past few meetings have been difficult, to say the least, but I've been really impressed with the way they have been hashing out agreements with one another and making votes that clearly are difficult for them. But I'd like to see our community gather around. I'd love to see greater attendance at school committee meetings. We definitely need to improve transparency, especially with the numbers related to the budget. Right now, paperwork associated with each school committee meeting is posted. There have been dramatic improvements made over the past 2 years to our school committee and our school web pages. But I'd like to see some of those reports filed out on another page where people can easily track, for example, attendance or fees from 2022 to 2023 to 2024 and beyond, all on one page that's easy to see, easy to look up, so that it can be referenced by citizens. I think that will help with some of this conflict and misinformation. And also, we need VOTEC, and I can't say it enough, but if our citizens vote no on VOTEC, we really need to make an effort within Pembroke High School to encourage our guidance counselors to create not only college fairs, but career fairs and fairs that have to do with opportunities moving forward, like entrepreneurship, and not just focus so highly on college readiness, but on life skills and life readiness, because there are a lot of different paths once our students leave Pembroke High School, and I want them to feel ready and prepared to do that. So that's something else I'd like to see us do.
What opportunities do you see as a candidate for the school committee?
Although I've just outlined a number of challenges that we face moving forward, I think that these challenges also present us with some great opportunities. In particular, I think the substantially separate special education program will provide an opportunity for us to create a draw to our community. And that is important. As our numbers dwindled for a number of reasons, we have to take another look at what does education look like. And I think this is really where my background and experience could come into play and be very valuable for our students. VOTEC, if we approve the VOTEC, we will lose students from our Pembroke High School. That will require us to make additional adjustments. And the reality is that numbers are declining to begin with, and then we would add that decline as well. So finding creative uses for our buildings, being able to adjust our scheduling, although it may seem difficult, the ability to more readily share staff, for example, between the high school and the middle school because of a shared schedule or closer approximation of those students. Right now the middle school is just down the street, but at some point we may have to consider shifting which students we have in which buildings. And these are big changes, and change seems scary. But it's also an opportunity for us to think outside of the box. So one of the things I think I bring to the table is that my educational experience has been varied. I've had my son attend Silver Lake Vocational and do the welding program there. My daughter attempted to go to Pembroke High School shortly after COVID, coming from homeschooling, and ended up coming back out, doing dual enrollment, and now she's also in the trades. Then I have another daughter who's graduating this year, and she's been able to merge her homeschooling with the public schooling as well as dual enrollment so that she's a semester ahead. She's already got a semester of college credits. She's been able to participate in the play at the high school. And then I've got my fourth child who is a sophomore at the high school, and she's thriving in a standard Pembroke High School curriculum, participating in extracurricular sports. These experiences have given me a background, along with my 4-H experience, my experience talking with and hosting exchange students and their feedback from the high school, that I think will be vital in us thinking outside of the box and creating solutions so that our students can continue to have good access to excellent programs in a variety of different genres and topics. I want our students to have access to foreign language and to great science programs and to wonderful sports teams. We've had some great successes on our sports teams this past year, some big firsts and some wonderful wins. I love seeing that. And I think our town has some great opportunities to continue that work, to shift how that's done and become a little bit more efficient in some ways, but also to partner with members of the community through the Pathways program and changes there, and in ways that the vocational students will be able to give back to our community. When our students go off to Hanover to attend South Shore Voc Tech, they will be coming back into the community to pay back, to put it forward, push things forward. We will be able to have some of those horticulture students come in and maybe do some work at North Elementary that the grounds just need a little love. And who better to do it than our students in a learning opportunity? I think it gives us great opportunities to partner with more outside businesses. I'm looking forward as a veterinarian to be able to work with South Shore Voc Tech's program that they're hoping to start for veterinary technology. These kinds of partnerships, I think, are really, really vital, and we have great opportunity in the change that we have coming forward to make our education really go from the great education that it is into something that other towns around us will emulate and draw people to our town, purchase our property, live in our town, become part of our community, and I am really excited to be able to be a part of that. In the spring of 2021, my daughter was denied access to vocational education. This was really, really hard on her. She had a vision for her future, and that included vocational education. And when she found out that state rules had changed and she would not have the same opportunities that her brother had, it was really rough, especially coming out of COVID. Fortunately, she was able to just turn that around, and she's now doing exactly what she had hoped to do and planned to do. She found a way through. And one of the hardest things as a parent is to see your child not have access to the education that really plays to their strengths. It was heartbreaking, honestly. We see things in the news all the time about parents and their frustration with schools. And one of the things that I would really like to do as a candidate and as a school committee member is to reinstill trust with our parents, that I am well aware there is no one who will love your child as much as you do. And our schools need to step in and partner with parents and reassure them and give them reason to trust. and to feel safe and to know that their children are safe in our schools. I am prepared to be that person. I am excited to be that person. I want to be available to our constituents and the citizens of our town and the students of our town. I'm happy to talk with any parent about any concern at any time. I am thrilled that our children are each so unique and different in their personalities and their talents. And it's just amazing for me to watch them. Last night I attended a meeting regarding a building project in Pembroke. And one of the students who spoke, it's very near and dear to him because it affects the household he grew up in. And to see him speak so well is a testimony to the type of students we have in Pembroke. And I want every student who walks through the doors of our school to feel cherished and adored for the exact person that they are. So as you consider, who do I vote for? How do I choose which candidate I want to give my vote on May 17th or May 1st to the 15th at the town hall or by mail? I want you to seriously consider what the school committee job is about. It's about making sure that students have access to excellent education. It's about making sure that we are accountable to our citizens who pay for this. It's about building a community that people want to live in and want to move to. Many of you know me. I've been in your homes to take care of your pets, and I have enjoyed meeting just about every single one of you, and that's the honest truth. I love what I do, and I love being able to help, and I'm thrilled to have this opportunity if you'll give it to me. So if you would consider giving me your vote, again, Election Day is May 17th at the Community Center for all precincts. Voting goes up until 5 p.m. It's an early close, so make sure you get there. But if that's going to be a difficult day for you, get in and vote from May 1st through to the 15th at the town hall during their regular business hours or by mail. But don't think that your vote doesn't count. It does. Every voice should be heard. Get out there and vote. And also reach out to me. I have contact information available on my Facebook page. My Facebook page is open. Just log on and look it up. You can see. You don't even have to be a Facebook member, I don't think. You're welcome to give me a call. You're welcome to reach out by email. I'd love to talk with you. I'd love to see how I can help. Please consider giving me your vote. Thank you so much.